New lesson. Here, dig this one. So, I was telling you about the elbow. So let's take, from here, it's this turns, this begins the turning of the pelvis. Now here again, it's like almost all of the rotation is in the hips and the shoulders. Boyle was talking about how the lumbar spine has at most 13 degrees of rotation. Shoulders about 40, hips, well, almost 90. Regular person probably about 80, he says 80. So think 80 degrees, 40 degrees, but the rotation isn't the lumbars, 13 degrees worth, but it's not so big. So here again, this is the gluteus medius that he's talking about. That's the one that goes here, and then, so the first thing is the foot turns the pelvis. The second thing you're thinking about is the hand. So the hand throws the shoulder girdle. So from the posture here, look at this. See, like you just throw that leg. Okay, where else we see that? Look, when you do a sword form. When we do, especially when we do
one of the common disc problems in the back is the S1, L5.
Yeah,
it rotates where it's not supposed to rotate.
Right, and Boyle he's all about not doing twisty exercises anymore. They do not do twisty shit anymore.
Or if you rotate,
you got to take your body with you. He, like the one where you lie and you go like, the cross leg things. No, don't do those things. Don't do those twisty things anymore.
We also have the L1 T12, and that's also a really weak spot too.
So let's see everybody doing.
Yeah, so we lose the thoracic mobility. We make the others do.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's the thoracic mobility, and that's where he's talking about. I guess the 40 degree turn.
Yeah.
It's not here. It's up. It's up in the thoracic spine that rotates. Lumbar spine, you don't really want it rotating more than 10 degrees probably.
Well, it feels like even a large part of that, it may be my body that's different, but it feels like even a large part of that is the mobility of the shoulder girdle.
Yeah, and that has to be uniform, or has to be symmetrical also. And few people are symmetrical. My right side is a terrible mess. But here's this lesson. So from Embrace Tiger, the return to mountain part, foot, elbow, foot, elbow, foot, elbow. So get to here. So get to here. Throw the foot first, throw the elbow, throw the hand. Get to here. Throw the foot, elbow, hand. Where else do we have this?
Sword, for sure.
Lots of them in the sword. This one, yeah. Four corners. So four corners is it's the same step. I'm talking mainly about the second and fourth of the four corners. This step, elbow, step, elbow. Now, the other thing that's important is that you leave the back knee bend. The back knee bend is part of your stop.
When you step, you can like, if I can
Sure, step,
go
yeah.
through,
Oh,
it gives
yeah.
me
Oh, yeah,
an extra
yeah, well,
right?
yeah, like if you're there and I can step in under your
Yeah,
center,
that
really give you the
or that,
launch.
Absolutely.
remember that, it was the Shingi, or I think it was Ninjutsu, it's a hell of a counter for someone trying to throw you. I think it's an Ikkyo. Remember that, like where Chris showed it, like you're trying to do Ikkyo, and I can,
Okay.
I can step through you,
Oh, yeah, yeah. So
something like that, you know. One.
That was an elevator. And your leg goes right here.
Yeah, do it this way so the
There's
camera
something
can look
like
at it.
that,
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the Shionagi there.
with some kind of, yeah, if I just,
Move over a little bit.
I just turn, I basically turn 90 degrees and,
Yeah.
Do something
okay.
like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
or it could be a hip throw, somewhere in there was this,
It could be a judo throw, yeah.
yeah, just like,
Well,
you're just like,
Yeah,
Maybe
now
it's the
that,
other way.
see, I'm seeing
maybe it's the other foot.
seeing it this way. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what
Maybe
I'm.
it's the code, but anyways, a step,
Do that again.
that step through,
Okay.
that step through, yeah, behind him, but there was, yeah. Yeah, somewhere. Wasn't quite there, but somewhere there was a step through that was
Well,
a great counter.
that's the, yeah, that's
It might
this.
not have been for you,
Yeah.
might have been for a different technique.
That one, no, I can't, I'll give a push. So there's the push. This is
Yeah, that's the one,
that's the one that's the.
but there's another,
But
But anyway,
what
it's in
you-
there.
Yeah, well, you showed that's something
Absolutely.
too.
It's the idea of taking their center.
Uh-huh.
yeah, with something
Well,
like if you could
step,
just, yeah,
Bob's point
you could just
was,
insert that thing.
you're the guy, if I'm doing four corners,
But,
you're the guy I'm looking at over here. And as soon as I step here, look at where you are.
Yep.
but
And
Anyway,
if I
that's
push
okay.
you, you go hit that wall over there. So
seemed like I
that,
got it backwards, like it was
that
turning to a
step.
shoulder.
yeah, that step is this lesson. This lesson is step, elbow, shoulder.
Yeah,
Mhm.
anyway,
Step,
yeah.
elbow, throw.
A lot of momentum built up into this.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where's another one? Okay, look at this one.
That seems a lot like a big circle turned into a little circle.
Yeah.
So this elbow throws it, right?
Uh-huh.
The up,
Now, see,
and the
now
foot.
look, just take,
That totally works on that
take
one.
simple word off right. Word off left. Word off right. These loops. So let's do the four corners loop.
Yeah,
Make
you
sure
got it.
that make sure that your leg goes first, turning the pelvis, then the off arm goes, turning the shoulder, then you get your strike. And don't bend your back knee. Don't straighten your back knee. Why hold it?
Before I open my toes.
No, that was okay. Do it again. Go that way. Okay, come back this way. Now, straighten your back leg.
Nothing there.
Nothing. When you straighten your back leg, you've given up control. You've given up control, meaning that if you straighten your back leg, you're way pullable. So one of the biggest deals with a proper movement is being able to stop proper movement. if you don't keep your back leg bent, and if you take your front leg past vertical shin, you're pullable. If you keep your shin vertical, you keep your back leg, you're not pullable. That's really an important point. That's why we learn the form the way that we do. That's why we want these hieroglyphs. Because everything's about a perfect hieroglyph. Say, for instance, see here, you grab this wrist, the other hand. The hieroglyph. So the hieroglyph, here's one. I'm on my back leg, my leg's right there, it's perfect. Here's the second one.
Thanks for holding me up.
That's the second one. And the only reason I can hold you up is because I wasn't doing this.
You're in the hieroglyph, so
I'm in the hieroglyph, yeah.
solid.
The movement is secondary to sticking the landing. It has to begin from a stable state. Then you have to stick the landing and not be pullable. That's real basic to martial art.
Foundation of your power.
So yeah, some of the worst throws that can happen to you, well, they won't happen if you have the right shape. You just can't be thrown hard, and you might get your balance upset. But here's the other thing Feldenkrais said was in a judo match between two equal opponents, the thing that will make one more equal than the other is how fast he can regain his balance. The regaining of balance, the stopping of a movement, the control, the stopping of a movement rather than wobbling into a movement. So that's why, you know, you're going to be looking, when you do the Tai Chi form, you're going to be looking for tens. Every posture. You get a 10 for the landing, see, every one of them. You'll be looking for okay, how about this one? So here's another one. This one is,
Yeah.
so see how the idea that the leg turns the pelvis, the off elbow turns the shoulder girdle. That throws the effective strike. And the sticking the landing is huge. Huge, to quote Trump. Huge. Huge. Huge.
It's huge.
Huge.